What is going on, people? This is the Lifeboat. I'm Captain Calhoun. What's going on, folks? Welcome in tonight. What a night. A night for the books. I've handed out like 50 private seats today, I swear. But you know, it's gonna be a good night. I think through the fire and flames, I come out stronger, eh? What's going on, y'all? Jamie Palmer, TKK. I live for now. I'm going to have to do lots of scrolling. There are a lot of you. I'm so happy to see you guys. Lynn Sanity, Katrina Schaff, Shelly Kelly, DS Katie, Sweet Liberty, Kristen Melinda. What's going on? Good to see you guys. Jason P. Good sir. Always a pledge. I am the Noise Opera. Congratulations on the amount of time between you and smoking, my friend. That is quite the achievement. Rose, Cinderella's Glass Slipper. Hello, hello. What's going on, y'all? We're going to try and get through this roll call, but I may struggle, so bear with me here. Chow Yun Smut, Sandy, Wendy, Miss Sunrise Dawn. Good to see you guys. Always a pleasure. Roberta. Dradeson, I don't know if I've ever said hello to you. Welcome in. Welcome aboard. It's my pleasure to meet you. Rick Spicer. What's going on, friends? It has been quite the day. I am not looking forward to talking about it, but we're going to do so anyways. You know how we do here. Darla Zarillo, hello, hello. Thank you all for the kindness reminders. Some people definitely need the reminders. Also, it took me a while to get through the comments today, so I guess I won't apologize, but I wish I had gotten through that stuff quicker. I wish I hadn't left some of that smut up there for so long. But, you know, a guy needs a nap now and again. A guy needs a break. So that's what it was. I took a break and came back to like 1,000 comments. Oh, my Lord. Chow Yun Smut had a small salad. Turkey kielbasa and mashed potatoes. That sounds like the dinner of champions to me. I had pizza, which is also fantastic. Me and my buddy Nathaniel went to Costco today, got some groceries, got some pizza, and watched some Lord of the Rings. It was a very nice time. He's still here, in fact. I might introduce you later if he's into it, but we'll get there slowly but surely. I'm still scrolling, folks. We'll get there, I swear. Sweet Liberty, hello, hello. Yadira, good to see you, Yadira. It's been a little while. Judy Lee. Sleeping on your side of the bed tonight. Cheeky Bratka, hello, hello. Good to see you. All right. I'm going to miss some people, but I'm going to scroll all the way down now. Wow. That was a lot to scroll through. Okay. What's up, y'all? Yo, so today's been one of them days. Today's been colorful. Today's been emotional. Today's been hard. But we made it. It's the end of the day. So, you know, all of that is now in the past. Well, I mean, at least specifically those feelings and things we were just talking about. Obviously, there might be some more fire tomorrow. Who knows, right? But I think we're through the worst of it, guys, which is really good, which is really nice. Sometimes novel things hurt. But usually novel things are just good, and they release chemicals on your brain that help your reward system work better. So don't take that to heart, but sometimes new things hurt. No Face, hello, hello, here, not here. Good to see you. Scooby Lee. Luckily, Captain Calhoun is a fire dancer. Yeah, I definitely know a thing or two about the fire. The first thing is that it cannot be controlled. You have to move with it if you're dancing, I guess. But it is not an element that can be controlled. It is out of control inherently. It's one of its properties is that it destroys and creates. That is the fire element, is creation and destruction. Transformation, one might say. So yeah, through the fire and flames, I come out different. I come out better. I come out one way or another different, eh? Sierra Terry, good to see you. Thank you for your super sweet comments today. I should be thanking a bunch of you for your super sweet comments. I just happened to remember Sierra Terry's comment specifically, but I did see a ton of love today in the comments. I really appreciate every single one of you. Y'all are the best crew a captain could have. I know I say that literally every day, but it's just so true. I'm continually humbled and just honored over and over in new and exciting ways to have you guys a part of my life, to have you guys on the boat, to be able to be a part of this crew. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate every single one of you and all the love expressed in the comments today. And we're not going to talk too much about the other stuff that was in the comments because all those people received private seats. I had no patience today. Usually I try to, give people a chance and this, that, and the other. And that was not what happened today. Today I smashed a lot of gophers. I played whack-a-mole, and man, I have never banned so many people in such a short amount of time. It was aggravating. It was frustrating. For all the super sweet comments that I saw, there would right after that be like a comment that just really riled me up, which I guess is what they're designed to do, huh? The people that leave those comments are probably trying to get a reaction. Some of them have succeeded, but they will not succeed with me. I am a brick wall. In fact, I'm not even a brick wall. I'm a wall made of a substance that we know not. I'm so hard. Don't let me talk my mess. I'm just messing about. Don't let me talk. Sweet Liberty says, we needed you this morning and you were there. And these comments really, really hit me emotionally today. I didn't really realize or understand the impact that my morning stream would have. I just knew that it was what needed to happen. I just felt that that's what I needed to do, right? So I jumped into it. So it really, it was very emotional reading the comments like this today. I definitely shed some tears, and I appreciate being appreciated. You know what I mean? Like feeling needed, feeling useful are things that cannot be under, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't hear you, Nathaniel, because I have headphones in. Cannot be understated, the importance of. Teresa says, I respect you, Spanx. You're holding strong boundaries to keep this space safe, and this space will remain so. I am very proud of the boat. I'm very happy with the boat. And, the boat sails on. Captain Your Eyes Are Lovely, Brilliant Blue, says DS Kitty, this evening. How could I have missed that before? I don't know. I sometimes have a hard time looking right at you. There's so much stimulus here at my desk. I have a hard time giving you the full gaze. I was just describing some very piercing eyes to my friend Nathaniel. I was describing Takara's eyes to her, or to him. And I've never done that before. It was kind of fun. I have a fun exercise that y'all can try. So my friend was asking me about my, I guess, significant other, right? My girlfriend. And I was like, would you like a picture or would you like me to describe her? And he said, why don't you describe her first? And it was a very fun exercise to describe the person that I care very much for to someone that doesn't know them. And I think we had some pretty sweet, interesting, novel results. If you get the opportunity to ask a friend or to tell a friend about someone that you care for deeply, and they are curious what they're like or what they look like or how they are, describe them. It's a very fun exercise, and it will make the heart grow fonder. And it's a very lovely, emotional experience. Layla Bradley, hello, hello. Remember, at the end of the storm, there was a golden sky. Thank you for that. The sunset tonight was epic, and it definitely made me feel special. Goosebump, what's going on? Ahoy crew, catching up from the start. Anyone who didn't catch Reese's live earlier today, check it out later. Definitely do so. Shout out to Reese. Love the lady. Love her. I hope she's all right. I hope everything's going okay over there. I'm sure that, life goes on, right? But, I feel for her. I feel for everyone. One of empathy can be a blessing and a curse if you let it run wild, eh? I tell you what. With the utmost love and grace, thank you for that, Cheeky. Miss Dragon, what's going on? Good to see you. I am someone who has no clue what happened, been spending a lot of time listening to music instead. Well, I can relate with that. I definitely like to listen to music instead. I wish I had listened to music instead, but responsibility calls, knocked at the door. So, I sit in my seat. Jen Sahader, hello, hello. Good to see you. Whine a little bit more. One of my favorite monikers. Welcome in. Good to see you. An adamantium wall or an unobtainium wall. I got my nerds in the house. Love you guys. Heck yeah. Have you guys caught up on Rings of Power? Are you guys into that? I'm like the least critical person of movies because I want to like them. You know what I mean? So I have one complaint, one singular complaint, when there could be many. But I mean, next to the likes of a scene where you get to see the Balrog earn the name Durin's Bane, like next to stuff like that, I don't think that my criticisms have any ground to stand on. You know, getting to see Mr. Tom Bombadil in the flesh, I think that there's way more to be stoked about than to not. The unobtainium and the adamantium made me think of my fantasy adventures today. So pardon me if you're not into that. We can segue back. Okay, what has happened, says James. I don't know what you're referring to, but I do love your very cute dog. That face, it's so cute. That is also a drawing exercise. Helena, good to see you. That's also a drawing exercise you often do in the first semester at art school, but instead of describing a person, your partner describes a mystery object to you, and you have to draw it. Interesting. I remember the only art class I ever took, I think it was 7th grade. The first project we had was to draw something by looking at it, but not looking at the paper. So I had to press pencil to page and then not bring it back up. Like I had to keep the pencil on the page and then kind of like try and draw what I was looking at. It was a very interesting exercise. No spoilers for Rings of Power, please. Still catching up. I promise no spoilers, and I didn't give you any spoilers. Just things to look forward to. Jin, what's going on? No Face, hello. Pat Kimbrell. Yeah, we're shooting from the hip today. I don't have anything planned, but again, I figured that this needed to happen. I have been very, very busy today, very emotional today, and very troubled today. So this is what I have, and it must suffice. So that is what it is. TKK says, Spanx, I love and need the boat. Well, I want you to know the boat's not going anywhere, all right? The boat's right here, I promise. Great idea, Captain. Thank you very much. I am losing my place here. I tell you what. How are you hanging in there, Captain Calhoun? Can we do anything for you? Asks Chow Yen Smut. You know, I think that you all are already doing your part. Your own individual ripples, your own individual comments and thoughts of love are plenty. There's so much. I feel like you have no idea how far your ripples reach. You have no idea how much just leaving a little comment does for me, and far more than that, right? So I think every single one of you is definitely already doing plenty. I have read a ton of comments today, and most of them have been uplifting. Most of them have made me feel very, very good and supported, and I love you guys. So I really appreciate you asking. I think I highlighted the wrong comment there, but that's going to have to be all right, huh? But yeah, no, I think that you guys are doing a ton. I tell you what, my folks are watching Rings of Power, but I'm not allowed to watch any Tolkien-based movies anymore. And yes, there's a story behind that. Well, it's a story that I'd be curious to hear, Chow Yun. You don't have to share it now, but it promises to be an interesting story, I imagine. To become what I became. Yeah, I can't draw it all either, but my little sister is a whiz. She's a little artist. I'm super proud of her. She's going to be a teacher, guys. She's going to college for teaching. She's very, very into English, the language as well as the subject. We spoke before her literature class today. She's always telling me about all these things that she's learning. She's taking I don't know if it's a course, a job, or a internship. I feel like it's a job where she's supposed to be like a teacher's assistant or like to like create lesson plans, but the person in charge isn't able to be a part of. So now she's teaching a class basically. And she's killing it. She's a young young successful teacher. She's learning how to do it. She's learning, right? But she's doing a great job. I can't imagine myself. Well, I guess I can. That is kind of what I'm doing as well, creating lesson plans and then speaking about them, eh? Internship most likely, says El Bowman. It definitely feels like that, but I'm pretty sure she told me it's a job and she's getting paid for it. So, I mean, go see her, right? She's killing it. Super proud of her. She's the best of us. I say this all the time. She's definitely the best of us. She got out with the good genes and got to see the bad examples early on. She's definitely the best of us. Thank you guys all for the well wishes for my little sis. Jin, this is fact. Spanx, you have no idea how much an impact you make. Thank you. I feel like sometimes we need to be told. I feel like from one's own perspective, things only look one way. You know what I mean? Obviously, I can look from different angles, but what I'm trying to say is that I don't think that I could ever really understand the impact that I'm making. I just have to trust that it's enough. And I really appreciate you telling me that. Because sometimes I wonder, sometimes I worry, especially when I'm down, when I'm out, when I'm not feeling 100%. It's very easy to feel like I'm not enough or I'm not doing enough. I tell you what. The Lord of the Rings has been our holiday viewing for sad to show my age the last 20 plus years. Well, it's good watch. It's good watching. I am just in the middle of the Fellowship of the Ring. I haven't watched it in 7 or 8 years, I feel like. And I just got halfway through it the other night. So I'm going to go through the trilogy again and see what I've forgotten, what I've missed. For all of the spin-offs that they're doing, they're talking about a Gollum movie. Nobody wants that. Nobody asked for that. What they need to do is do the story of the Dunedain, Aragorn's ranger people, and the fall of that kingdom to the Witch King of Angmar. I think that would be the most ridiculous series, movie, 3 movies made from 1 book, whatever. However they chop it up, they couldn't possibly screw that up. It sounds awesome, right? There's not enough lore told about it for us to be picky about details, right? All they have to get right is it's, the Dunedain, the location of their kingdom, and the Witch King, brings them down. There's some more details in the Silmarillion, but not near as many details as these other stories that they're telling that, they're taking liberties with, that a lot of people have a hard time, getting past. I'm not a hard critic at all. I'm very easy. But if I was, it would be difficult for me to like these things. Seeing dwarf women is enough for me. You know what I mean? Seeing Durin alive is enough for me. Screwing up the blue wizards, I will let slide. Putting Gandalf in the Second Age, I'll let that one go. But you could just pick an easier story to tell, right? The Dunedain, let's go. I forget the name of that kingdom, but the northern kingdom of men in the Third Age that fell by the time Lord of the Rings comes around. It didn't exist anymore because the Witch King destroyed it. He actually might have destroyed it in the Second Age. I can't remember. We're a little all over the place today, folks. Thanks for bearing with me. Comment, Dee Razzle Dazzle, good to see you. Spanx, you do a great job leading the boat. I love how grounded you are and your unique perspectives on things. Well, I really appreciate that. I will say I definitely attempt to ground and center myself before every show. It's always a really exciting thing that I have to calm myself for. Texas Kate, welcome in. I don't think I've ever said hello to you. Hello there. Welcome in. Welcome aboard. I haven't done this in a while. What's going on? It's your captain here. Orlando Bloom, I miss him. What happened to that guy? Huge crush of mine. Then a couple of years ago later, my crush switched to Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn. Yeah, both of them are pretty bad to the bone, I have to say. Arnor, that's right, the Northern Kingdom. Thank you, Layla. I knew I could count on you. The Dunedain, in the land of Eriador in Middle-earth, who was the original seat of the High King of Arnor, who ruled over both Arnor and Gondor. That's correct. And they were connected by the seeing stones, the Palantirs, of which there, I believe, are only 2 left in the world. Because a bunch of them sank to the bottom of the ocean, this and that, a bunch of stuff happened to the Palantirs. But there's the one that the Steward of Gondor has possession of. And there's the one that so there's 3. There's the one that Sauron has, and there's the one from the Black Tower, from Isengard. Did you guys know that the Elvin Smith Feanor in the First Age created those things? The Elvin Smith that created the Silmarils, the most valuable, I forget what they're described as, but the jewels that started the whole war with Morgoth. He also created the Palantirs. Interesting fun fact. He married Katy Perry. Man, I guess I would disappear too. That's pretty cool. You guys remember that song? Last Friday night. I used to jam the crap out of that when I was like 18. Man, that was a good joint. Yeah, Gil-galad got me going. The High King of the Elves. Yeah, I couldn't contain myself the first time that happened. I exclaimed, Gil-galad! And kind of the people next to me were like, whoa. But I was pretty stoked on that too. About 40 people weren't trying to talk about Lord of the Rings. Whatever. That's what I've got today. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. When I'm not feeling hot, when I'm down, you know what I do? I try to fix that. I try to do things that make me feel good. I try to do things that make me feel happy. And some things that do that are exercise, productivity, and nerddom, right? So any sort of fantasy book, novel, movie, series, even just to talk about it with someone and to like kind of disappear into this nerdy world makes me happy. And when I come back from said nerdy world, I'm not necessarily where I was when I entered, if that makes sense, right? These are some of the tools that I use. It is important, especially if you're using something that is escapable into, like a fantasy world, a game, a movie. It's important not to watch the entire Lord of the Rings series to cover up your feelings, right? But you can watch a movie, you can watch a couple shows, right? Come back into the real world and breathe that nice oxygen. It's easy to fall in, right? But these are some of the tools that I use. And your tools might be a little bit different, right? I definitely think journaling is beneficial for anyone. The ability to go back and see the headspace that I was in on a date that is written down is amazing. Invaluable, I might say. But what was I going to say? An exercise literally just releases chemicals in the brain, especially if your brain is damaged. If you're the reward system of your brain, what tells your brain, okay, this is good, okay, this is bad. If that stuff's not working, it's really, really hard to feel happy. If you're just coming off of some deep, dark addiction, these are tools that you're going to need. Because those parts of your brain aren't working properly anymore. Take it from someone who knows. I'm still healing. I'm not doing any sort of detox. I'm not doing any sort of supplements, or I'm literally just doing a little bit of exercise and living my life. So, sometimes when my days are extra hard, I'm sure it's because I smoked crack and drank heavily for God knows how long. You know what I mean? It's a process. So I think that if that's a position that you're in, any tool you can get your hands on, anything that could possibly help is probably worth trying at least once. Maybe twice, because maybe I didn't do it right the first time. I used to make that joke about drugs. Now I make it about recovery. Does nerding out involving vague The Office references? It would if I was into that show. I have a history with this show. Lucy loved this show, and sometimes I would watch it with her, but only because I didn't want to fight about it, I guess. She would always make a big stink about the stuff that I wanted to watch and not wanting to watch it. So I would stop watching those things. And then, when I would make a big stink about it, she would make a big stink about me making a big stink about it. So I have a grudge against this show because I didn't like it in the beginning. And then I basically ended up watching a ton of it because I just wasn't willing to fight with her anymore. So I'm sure it's great. I do love that actor. What's his name? Steve Carell. He is a legend. But I have to say, I wish I liked that show. I have to say. Too much stink making. You're totally right. And I wish her the best. I don't think that she realized exactly, how she was being. I don't think she realized that she was reacting, and that's okay. It's okay. That was for me. That was that experience was for me. You know what I mean? That made me, a part of that is why I am who I am today. You know what I mean? I definitely would be different if I didn't have that experience. I definitely try not to look back negatively on negative experiences, because then I'm just harboring hate and anger. I'm harboring lesser emotions, right? Why not look back on it like, I'm really grateful that I could learn and have that experience. I'm really grateful that we had all these beautiful times. I'm really grateful that we both made it out. I'm really, really stoked that she's happy now. I'm really stoked that I'm happy now. And we're not attached at the hip 5 years later, still unhappy, trying to kill each other. There's a lot of perspective switching that can happen in any given situation, to your own benefit. For a while, I had a book about the language of Elvish, says Kristen. Tolkien actually created a whole syntax. I don't know what happened to the book, though. I would be super curious to see that book. I have the Silmarillion laying around here somewhere, and I've never made it through the whole physical book, but I have listened to the audiobook a few times. Listening to the Silmarillion while going to work as an electrician, you don't absorb everything, so you got to listen to it a few times, hence the couple times I listened to it. Miss Dragon says, if you want to exercise and fight monsters in a fantasy world, look into the Switch Ring Fit Adventures. It works. I've done over 500 miles running in place in my living room. What kind of monsters are you defeating? That's what I want to know. We played a Switch Jackbox thing at my friend's house the other day. It was basically a collection of party games for people to play together. And we played this thing called Split the Room. And it was the creepiest, weirdest, most awesome, when I say party game, I mean Mario Party, something that the whole family can play, right? Except it's not Mario Party. But man, this game was creepy and hilarious and so entertaining. I wonder if I can describe it. The idea was to split the room as evenly as possible. You would create this fantastic situation that's unreal, right? This fantasy world. It would give you a prompt and have you fill in a word. What was the first one? It was I don't know. I don't know if I have a good example, but it was very interesting to see the things that people would insert, trying to get everyone to pick differently, right? So if you get an even split, if there's 5 people, one of them's picking, one of them's creating the situation, and 4 of them are choosing what they'd prefer. For example, let's say, in this new world, or what was it? In this world, you're a foreign exchange student and visiting a well-to-do family, right? And in this country or place that you're visiting, it is tradition for a guest to blank before going to bed. And I panicked and I didn't type anything in, and the time ran out, so it filled it in for me. It said, drink water with your butt was what it came out with. And so before going to bed as a foreigner, as someone visiting, as a guest, it's customary for me to drink water with my butt. And the next part said, do you partake in this tradition? And I can't remember what the split was. It probably wasn't that split. I don't think most people were super into drinking water with their butt. But the idea is to create a situation that will evenly split, right? You get the most points, if 2 people pick this side and 2 people pick this side. It was super curious to see what things people were willing to do and not willing to do, what people had problems with and what they didn't. It was super cool, super interesting. And the imagery on the game was it was awesome. It was a little psychedelic and a little creepy. This cat, this black and white cat was, and the way he spoke, he was the narrator. It was very strange. Chimera Truly. I love that name. Hello, welcome in. Sorry about that, Jamie Palmer. Yeah, I figured that one's easily taken out of context. We're going to see some clips later on of me just saying that, I'm sure. Have fun with it. I care not. Yeah, don't turn the sass off. I agree with Jinjin. Helena, we love you just how you are. Come as you are. If there weren't so many rules, I would say just be yourself. But I guess we do have some rules. But you're not in danger of crossing them. Just do your thing. Oh, that's very sweet, but also kind of silly. I love that Chow Yun Smut. Maybe she is part skunk. I don't know. Bless her, though, right? And she does what comes to her naturally. I just guess it's just not for me anymore, We had some beautiful time. I did speak with Takara today, and it was probably the highlight of my entire day. I'll get all insecure and weird in my head about stuff, and then we'll speak, and it all just washes away. It's wonderful. I love her. Barry was awesome. I agree. I do know this character. Spanx, any update on Russ? I don't want to put his situation on blast, but it was on my mind. No. But I will say, I'm pretty sure my dad's headed this way right now. And I will be able to see him and ask him personally. It's been really difficult to get a hold of him today because he's got so much going on. Oh my. My buddy just sent me a picture of a Warhammer 40K box that he bought. It's a surprise. Oh, I'm so I didn't mean to make you laugh that hard. DS Kitty says, I'm a woman in my mid-50s. You got to warn me before you make me laugh that hard. I will I will tread carefully in the future, I swear. I wasn't sure if it was going to be that funny. In my head, it was like, is that funny? It was pretty funny in the moment. At the party, it was pretty cool. It was pretty hilarious. I wish I could remember some of the other ones. There were some pretty ridiculous situations. I just also checked my phone. I don't have any messages back from Russ either. Let's put some ones up for Russ. Let's put some ones up for my dad. Let's put some ones up for Reese, for Hux. I'm going to say some things, and I'm going to try and say them in a specific way. Let's see if I fail. I'm hoping to succeed. If there's anything that I've learned throughout this, if you're going to pick a fight with a group of people, even if they deserve it, don't turn your back on them. Don't let them sucker punch you. That's all I have to say, because I think we got sucker punched today. We got sucker punched real good. And I wasn't even looking. I wasn't looking for it, and that's on me. And I didn't start the fight. We didn't start the fire. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I could have seen it all coming, right? And I'm speaking about things you guys don't know anything about yet, so maybe I shouldn't. Earlier when I made the post, please stop commenting, etc., etc. I know y'all mean well, but y'all will feel silly when it's over. That's because there's a lot that you guys are not privy to that I don't know if we're going to make you privy to. There's a lot going on behind the scenes over here. There's a lot going on behind the scenes over there. And, I'm not going to speak about it until I have the green light. But suffice it to say, we're doing our best. No one woke up yesterday and said, I'm going to make this person's life hell. No one woke up yesterday and said, I'm going to be as much of a crap today as I can possibly be. No one does that. You know what I mean? So suffice it to say that you have to understand. No, I don't. You don't understand. You understand nothing. Don't tell me that. Okay. Don't put that in my comments. If you want to receive a private seat, you can tell me what I must understand. Anyways, that's all. That is the only doom and gloom that I have for you today. The rest of it is flowers and rainbows, maybe some farts, but we can keep that for later. Tommy said something about an announcement. Yeah, he may or may not have an announcement for you guys. I'll let him make it. There are definitely lots of thoughts and ideas of brewing, but I tell you what, one of the best pieces of advice Papa Scoville ever gave us was don't make a big decision when the sun is down. So we're going to let the sun rise on this little sucker and see if it's still worthy to see the light of day. You feel me? I would advise all of you to do the same. If you've got a big decision on your hands, do not make it when the sun's not in the sky. Everything looks different when the light shines in the window. Everything feels different when the light hits your skin. And I'm not talking about artificial light. The sun outside does physical things to your body and your mind. I would 100% sleep on any big decisions anyone's contemplating making now and forevermore. Jamie Palmer, Spanx, you share what you're comfortable sharing when you're comfortable sharing it. If that ever happens, it's none of our business. You owe us nothing. Love you. Yo, you're the best, Jamie. You are the best. If I had a gold star, I would give you one. I don't, though. Thank you for saying that. That means a lot to me. And, it occurs to me that, we kind of let you all into our little private lives, So what do we expect? We expect people to comment on our private lives. That goes without saying, right? If we're surprised by that, we're mistaken. So I get it, but I really appreciate y'all that also get it. That's right. El Bowman says, take a breather, stop chaotic thoughts, count to 210. It only takes 8 minutes to distract oneself. If I can have a conversation with Nathaniel for 8 minutes, I'm not thinking about that crap anymore, and I do. Spanx, your calm maturity is showing. I feel like I end up reading a lot of compliments to myself, and I feel a little bit of ego. So I'm going to try and read stuff that's not so complimentary. But at the same time, thank you so much for all the compliments. I don't feel deserving, although I'm sure that you would say that I am. I'm sure Nathaniel would say that I am. He's trying to tell me right now. I think there's one thing we must all understand, says Helena. Just because we want to know doesn't mean we're entitled to know. Yeah, and sometimes I want to know stuff, and then I find out, and I'm like, ooh, I wish I didn't learn that. So grain of salt, folks. Grain of salt. Chow Yun Smut says, I'm 90% of my life is spent after the sun goes down, and I sleep usually before the sun comes up. I'm nocturnal. I can get behind sleep on it, though. Well, you might operate a fair bit differently than Papa Scoville did. So maybe that advice isn't necessarily for you. But yeah, grain of salt. Sleeping on it. Maybe that's the key. Maybe it's not the sun. Maybe it's the sleep, huh? Maybe it's a little bit of rest and nutrition between decisions. That might be the key. Who knows? I've never tested it. Roasted like getting a chicken wing. I love that. Get them. Yo, and those of you that stood up to these jackwagons, I appreciate you so much. I know exactly who each and every single one of you guys are. Your stock just went up in my book, I would quote the rest of that line, but you're far past notch one. And that's what the quote is. The quote is, that puts you at notch one. Starsky and Hutch, anybody? Huggy Bear? You're far past notch one, though, so we won't say that. The sun is so important. Where did that go? You don't need the shadows to cause you to fall down. The wrong one. Hold on, pardon me. The sun is so important. Life paths are hard enough to navigate. You don't need shadows. You don't need the shadows to cause you to fall down the wrong one. When there is a lot of love, the pain can hurt worse. Absolutely. And in fact, the pain is worse when the love is stronger, right? Like that's what makes it hurt, is the loss of the love. Jeffrey Canali says it takes 9 affirmations to erase 1 negative comment. Keep reading those good comments. Yes, sir, I promise. I'm working hard at it too. I tell you what, when I do read a negative comment, I quickly scroll to the good ones because I am trying to wipe it from the mind. It's interesting that there's a science behind that. Thank you for that, Jeff. Shout out to Jeff, by the way. I haven't seen you in a while, man. Welcome back. Good to see you. Yeah, don't go looking for him, Kristen. Kristen says that she's glad she missed all the mean comments. I'm glad to hear there were kind ones too. Don't go looking for them. Most of them are gone. I'm sure that there could be more now. I swear, I took a 4-hour nap and there was like 1,000 comments. It was absolutely insane. I went through every single one. I did not respond to them all. I will, though. I will get there. I've been a lot better about the comments, and I'm getting in the groove of it. Today, I definitely needed to take a step back and a break. Steam was starting to come out of my ears, folks, in the cartoon sort of way. Comment, I don't know your story, Renee B. I'm here for my alcoholism, but trust you because of Tommy. Word. Well, on this channel, we are an anti-addiction channel. If you watch Tommy, I'm sure you're familiar with the spiel. We're not an anti-drug channel. We believe in harm reduction. We believe connection is the opposite of addiction. And usually I have a good recovery message. Today, I'm trying to do some recovery of my own. So hopefully that's all right. Hopefully that's all right. I do love the tiger in your photo. I guess I could take this opportunity to tell you some of my story, Renee. I have what's the date today? The 8th? February 24th, 2023, I quit smoking crack and drinking. And I had been drinking and drugging for 15-ish years before that. And I had been doing cocaine for the second half, and I progressed to crack that last year. I'm not entirely sure how long I smoked crack. It all kind of burned. All those memories are kind of gone. It's really, really hard to identify the amount of time that passed, and that's kind of a scary thought. But I am a year and 6 months at least removed. I feel like more than that now, right? February, 10 months, 8. Yeah, so a year and 8 months, I'm pretty sure. At the end of this month, so I have a year and 7 months. Clean and sober. Thank God. And I'm never going back. I say that with confidence. There's no way. It's not going to happen. So, but that being said, I did not know that I needed to do good works. I did not know that. I never thought of myself sitting in this chair. Never saw myself doing anything like this. But as my brain kind of got back together, as I got healthier, my brain started working more properly. My dad was doing this, and now I'm doing this. And I have to say, I sleep really, really well at night after doing this. You know what I mean? I didn't know that I had to do good works to feel fulfilled, but my life is better than it ever has been. I've never felt the way that I feel these days. And when I say these days, I mean usually my level of like where I'm at is above my baseline before. My baseline has been elevated, right? And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to try. Right now, the boat is taking me places, right? I'm going to take the boat places. And this is just the beginning. So I don't know. I like to talk about boundaries. That's one of my favorite topics. I like to talk about intentions, the spiritual side of things. I try not to be divisive with language, right? We all have our own beliefs, but the inner work, the spiritual part of it is definitely my area of expertise. I have a very different take on things than my dad. We agree on a ton of stuff. He teaches me things every day. I'd like to think that I teach him stuff as well. My take is definitely different than his, right? He got his education in prison and on the streets, doing heroin. And I got my education being out there alone on the streets, doing what I do, right? So I kind of taught myself and learned a whole lot of different ways of doing things. And I have to say, everything that is great out here, everything that I have in my life that is wonderful, came from in here. It started with me healing myself. It started with me finding out why I hurt and why I run from these feelings. And you have to conquer those inner demons or you will never see what your life could be. And it all starts with that inner work. And that's what I try to talk about. I try to talk about how I walked that path and how you can too. So thank you for telling me that you're new. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to what I have to say. I hope to prove myself worthy of it. All right, guys. It is time for me to do something else. I love you all. Hit that like, subscribe, the bell for notifications if you like what we do here. It certainly makes a big difference. One more time, let's get some ones up for Russ, my dad, Reese, and Hux, and anyone else out there that needs them. If you're new here, when we put the ones up, that's like saying thoughts, prayers, love, whatever non-divisive language that you'd like to use in your head in place of the ones. That's what that means. The ones came about for us to come together in a way to send. I mean, prayers is the best way to describe it, right? But some people don't pray. Some people find those words offensive, right? So we use the ones. We're going to send good vibes. We're going to send love and hugs, and we're going to keep these people in our thoughts. So maybe that their situation will improve a little bit. Maybe these thoughts will reach them and they'll feel it. And often when you guys do this for me, I feel it. It literally elevates me. So I have faith. I think it works. Love you, Jane. Thank you for being here. Donna Mima, yo, yo, yo. I don't believe I've ever said hello to you either. People, places, and perspectives. What a legit name. Kosher Kathy, hello, hello. Katrina, Casey, Bliss, and Zoe. Heck yeah, guys. Jamie Palmer says, Spanx, my next task for inner work will be finding out if I play the victim without recognizing it. Yo, If I do that, it's not cool. Going to figure that out soon. I will say this. I don't know if you do that or not, right? I guess that's for us to discover about ourselves. But the lies that we tell ourselves are the hardest to see through. The fact that you are reaching for that truth, whether or not you're telling yourself those lies, is wonderful. It's amazing. Most people never have that thought or question those things. So you're way ahead of the game already, just being in that position. Yes, please email me, Chow Smut. I will say I have somehow lost access to sober@myyahoo.com. I must have forgotten the password or something. So when my dad gets here, I'm going to have him help me with it. The poo has been dumped into the fan, and it's just been like going everywhere. So that should stop tomorrow, and I should be able to take care of some business. One of things being getting back into the email. So if you've emailed me and I haven't responded in the past 3 or 4 days, that's why. Before that, it's just me being not on top of things. Anyways, that being said, you guys are the best crew a captain could have. I'm going to get out of here. Leave me a comment. I'll see you in the morning, all right? Captain Calhoun out. Nubs. Nubs up.